how's it going? Welcome back to the workshop. Today's episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about what's been going on in the workshop for the last couple months, where I'm at, what the plans are, where we're going, the new things that are here, what I still have to do, and all of that good stuff. First off, I went to Blade Show. I was in Atlanta. It was a good time. Got to see a ton of friends, hang out, check out some cool knives. It was a blast. We have a couple things on the way to the workshop right now. Two of those things are a lav mic and some video lights because, well, if we're being real, the lighting in here is not great. Neither is the audio, and we've seen a lot of comments about that, and we're trying to address it, so thank you for those of you who pointed it out in a kind way. Some of you did it in a mean way, and I don't appreciate that as much. I still appreciate it a little bit, but not as much. I'm getting ready, gearing up to film the first kind of life in Montana, showing off what life is like living in the best state. Sorry, Texas, you're out of here. Montana wins. So that'll be hiking and fishing and floating the river and shooting and off-roading and all of that fun stuff that we can do now that it's wildfire season here in Montana. As you can see right now, I'm working on wiring up my milling machine because for the last 8 months, I've had this thing sitting here and it's not wired up. So I'm fixing that right now. It's gonna be ready to rock and roll here in just a little bit. Hopefully we'll get this thing turned on and running in the right direction today. I still have a couple things I need to do to it before it's gonna be fully operational. I've got an automatic oiler on the way to put on the side of the machine, and I also need to build a new spanner wrench so I can take apart the face of the quill and get in there and actually put a new collet set screw in so my collets won't twist around because that old one is broken off. I know some people run them without those set screws, but I actually kind of like having it in there. Wire up my plug end here, and we'll see if I can get this thing to run. Here we go. Up next, I have another machine to show you. So this is the twisting machine. It was built quite a few years ago for a university to test the breaking strength of cold steel, which is why we've got a little readout on this side so that they can actually see what the pressure that they were putting through the steel before it broke was. We've got a 3 horsepower motor on it and a 1-to-100 speed reducer, which gives it an absolute ton of torque. It's putting out about 7,300 inch-pounds of torque, which means that right here, it's putting out 7,300 pounds, which is a lot. It came with 2 sets of dies, and I'm going to build a couple more sets. Some of the steel that I've got to unload from the truck is going to go towards building some dies for this stuff so I can do cool multi-bar stuff with it. I can twist big billets, I can twist little bars, and just get it really even and consistent along the way. So while that's heating up, I'm going to build 2 more sets of these dies right here. The reason that it's 3-sided is that the jaws inside of those chucks it's a triangle, and so it closes like an aperture almost, but on 3 sides. And so what I'm going to do is take some steel, grind the corners in on 2 sides, so I'll have 3 flat surfaces to clamp onto. And I'll have a couple different sizes that I can swap out in there for different size bars that I want to twist. What? It can close that much? That's some modern art right there. Up next we have some 5/8 bar that we're going to try out in our 3/4 inch die. So there's a little bit of slop in there. I'm interested to see what happens. Now that's nice. And with the twister working, we now have some organizational fabrication to do. We're gonna make some belt organization. We're gonna make some stuff to be able to store the tooling in here for the tooling arms, the different contact wheels and whatnot, so that they're not just scattered around. So there's actually a place to put them, because right now, you can't find diddly squat in here, and that isn't okay. Healthy. Next step, now that we've got the belts organized and we made it safely out of the grinding room, is to cut up this bar of steel right here, weld up a couple pieces of tubing onto it so we can organize the tooling arms and the small wheel attachments for the grinder. And now, using my precision layout system, the old ichrometer, I'm going to mark out 3 holes and then drill them using the milling machine, because I put the Jacobs chuck in it, and so we can drill holes with it. So what I've been working on here for the last couple minutes is the grinder stand that I'm going to be putting my Alex Steel Co. grinder on top of, because right now the bench that I have is a little bit too tall for me to be able to use the 90-degree flipping, tilting thing. And so what I did was I laid out the holes on the top plate there so that I can bolt it onto the plate. I cut my square tubing, which is the main support, and then I laid it out and got it all clamped up, and we're now ready to weld. So all I'm going to do is weld all the way around on this. We got some 5/8 plate on the bottom, 3/4 inch plate on the top, and I'm going to do a nice fat bead all the way around to make sure that it's super secure. I don't think I'm going to have any flexing issues with this. I think that it's all stout enough stuff. We should be okay. The ones that we made at Alec's shop, we had to add some gusseting to because we used a little bit lighter material, so I went way overboard on the heaviness of this guy to hopefully negate that and give ourselves a nice stout stand. La-do. One of the things that I hadn't considered when building this is where exactly I was going to put the VFD, which is an important thing. So before I take this into the grinding room, I'm going to bolt the stand on, and I'm actually going to bring the grinder out here and test it out and see where the best spot for the VFD is going to be, and taking into account the fact that this thing needs to swivel back and forth, and that throws a little wrench into the mix as well, but we need it worked out. And that concludes today's video. I'm so excited to finally be getting some of the actual infrastructure built in the shop to make things a little cleaner, a little neater. There's still a long ways to go. I need to get all of my material storage sorted out. I sort of need to sort it out. But I'm glad that the grinding room is starting to shape up and look a little bit more like a usable space. Couple things. Number one, Forge Your Die merch is available on the website, and I have a couple new designs coming soon that I'm very, very, very excited about, so stay tuned for those. Number two, don't forget to like and subscribe. Those help me out quite a bit, help the channel grow with the engagement and the algorithm and all of that good stuff. Number three, Steve Schwarzer, the man, the myth, the legend, the wizard, all of the things, is getting here tomorrow. And so we're going to be putting out some very fun videos, hopefully with Steve and a couple other bladesmiths who are going to come visit while he's here. So stay tuned for those, just some good collaborative fun. And the last thing is that when we hit 250,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away one of my full custom Damascus chef's knives. I'm pretty dang stoked about that. I'm going to have to do something real cool for that one. So thank you guys so much for hanging around till the very end, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.